Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. The case that I'm going to look into today is the strange disappearance of Luke Durbin. It happened around 15 years ago now, and we still do not know what happened to him to this day. This case was suggested by Tom, so thank you for that. I appreciate any suggestions you guys have. And of course, if you do have any more, please do let me know. Luke Durbin was born on the 4th of December in 1996 to his mother Nikki. He also had a sister called Alicia, and they lived in Hollesley in Suffolk. And he had a really close relationship with both. I'm not sure about his father, didn't really find any information on that. Luke loved music. He was a guitarist. He enrolled in Music Technology College in Colchester in Essex, but he did unfortunately drop out of that after a year of being there due to issues with his daily commute. He then began working a few jobs over the next year, and he eventually got a job at a greengrocer's in Alderborough, and this was a month and a half before he disappeared, so like 6 weeks. He was described as being affectionate, bringing out the best in people, just such a joy to be around. He was very easygoing. He would often bring groceries around to his mother so that he could cook for her. Just a kind-hearted, nice guy. He would always let his family know he was very close to with mind about where he was and what he was doing, and, you know, his whereabouts generally. Luke went to Farringay High School in Woodbridge before enrolling a music technology course at Colchester Institute. He was said to be popular, handsome, funny, and intelligent as well. He unfortunately did lose his way somewhere along the line. According to detectives, in 2010, he became involved with drugs at some point, and he was in a lot of debt at the time of his disappearance. It was very much felt like he had turned a corner though, because he got his new job at the greengrocers, and he kind of found a new renewed sort of sense of purpose in his life, and he loved that job. Luke actually went missing in the early hours of the 12th of May in 2006, which was a Friday. So the Thursday, which was obviously the night before, he had gone down to one of his friends called Alex's house, and that was in Woodbridge. He left his motorbike and backpack with some of his belongings, including his mobile phone, and then he went out with his friend Alex and another friend Zach. So he leaves all that there, and then he goes out. Now, it was a time sort of when people didn't necessarily carry their mobiles everywhere like they do now. They went to a pub called Zest, which was on Princess Street in Ipswich, and he left them in the early hours of the next morning. Alex had previously gone home earlier. Zach was the one friend that was left behind with Luke, and, you know, he was the one who they ended up splitting up from. He was wearing a black and grey long sleeve collar shirt, blue jeans, and brown suede shoes. He ended up, at some point during the night, his friend go for a drink, leaving Luke to stand wherever he's standing, come back with those drinks, and Luke was gone. It was thought that maybe he'd gone off to meet a girl or something like that. His friend went to look around the club for him, looked outside, everywhere he could think of to try and find Luke, but didn't find him, and decided that he would go home too. He just thought that Luke had gone home or something like that, and then he decided that he wanted to do the same. But Luke was actually still in the club at that time, little did he know. After what we know of the events of that night, only through like footage and things like that, Luke left that nightclub and he heads towards a train station. This was between 2:30 AM and 3 AM, obviously on that Friday morning, at Ipswich railway station. He was apparently asked to leave because there were no trains running. He walked across town to the Hawk Express taxi rank, but he didn't have any money for a cab, and he declined the offer of a mobile phone to call someone. So they offered him a phone to ring someone up, and he said no. The last official sighting of Luke was at 4 AM on 12th May 2006 on Dog's Head Street. And this is the footage. You can see Luke walking across a zebra crossing, heading towards a bus station. Luke was reported as missing the very next day. There was massive appeals done for him. The police were all out looking for him. There were media appeals done for him. Poster campaigns. Groups would retrace Luke's steps. That was known of where his last known steps They would go and retrace them and see whether they could see anything. They did television appearances, just everything they could to try and find Luke. Even in 2013, a section on him was done on Crime Watch. But the mystery remained just that, a mystery. It came out as well that minutes after the last seen footage of Luke, a Volvo 440 with a registration M206. I'm not going to give the full reg. You can actually look it up if you wish to, but I don't know whether I should be giving that out over the internet, even though it's already readily available. Regardless, it was caught on CCTV near Orwell Place, which is very close by to where Luke was. Now, the owner of this car has never actually been identified when police did look into it. It was actually registered under a false name and a false address, so whether this car could have had anything to do with Luke's disappearance, who actually knows? 2 independent witnesses reported seeing Luke on the 12th of May between 11 and 2 p.m. Apparently, he was in a dark blue Renault Megane, and the car was being driven by a black man close to the entrance of Turbine Centre car park in Woodbridge. In March of the following year, his mother, Nikki, ended up travelling out to London following another possible sighting of Luke by one of his classmates. I don't believe any of these have been confirmed to actually be Luke, so these are just unconfirmed sightings as far as I'm aware. In November of 2010, a detective called John Brocklebank took over the investigation, and his mother, Luke's mother, actually described this detective as relentless in his approach to find Luke. In August of 2011, 2 people were actually arrested under suspicion of fraud in Brixton after discovering Luke's details had been used to apply for credit back in 2007. The pair were questioned but were released shortly after, without any further action. In 2012, police arrested 2 men in suspicion of being connected with Luke's murder. Both of their properties in Ipswich and Rendlesham were searched, but they were later released without any charges. In September 2015, a £20,000 reward was put up, being valid for 3 months. It was for anybody that had any information leading to the conviction of Luke's suspected murderer. So it really is believed that maybe Luke got into a car that night and that he was potentially murdered after that. There have also been a lot of reports around that nightclub and around that area of people being injured and attacks and things like that. There's just so much limited information on Luke's case. Like, they have his last known whereabouts and where he was heading, but then that's it. Nobody's seen him since. Nobody knows what's happened. I mean, I truly believe there's somebody out there that knows what's happened to him, and if they ever come forward or not is just like another question. The police also do believe, even now, that there are some people that hold vital information, and that if they do in the community, that they should come forward and alert the authorities. You can call the Suffolk Police, or you can go on the portal, or even call Crime Stoppers just to give this information forward. Like, any information could be so vital in this case to put Luke's family's mind at rest as to what happened to him. Who did this to him, if he's still alive or not, who even knows at this point. In May of this year, 2021, his mother did this sort of interview where she said that even in the 15 years that have passed, she has never given up looking for her son. She remains convinced that somebody local knows what happened to Luke. He was 19 at the time of him disappearing in 2006, and she is literally convinced that somebody knows something. She honestly just hopes that they could find the courage to come forward, and that's all she can keep doing for Luke. So yeah, I honestly hope that she does get that this case may be finally solved, or at least she knows what happened to her son, because at the minute she's just stuck in limbo and has no idea. It's truly believed that he was murdered, but again, we don't actually know that. So yeah, that is the end of the case. If you guys have enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for similar content. Anyway guys, that's all I have today on the case of Luke Durbin. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.